A tropical wave is bringing heavy rain and storms to parts of our area, while others absolutely bake. Your forecast across the Caribbean and the Bahamas starts right now.
This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here at Meteo Mundo. Great to see you on a Monday. Hope you're doing well. A lot to get into in this video. We'll be tracking some heavy rain. We'll be tracking some extreme heat, and we'll take a look at what's going to be happening potentially tropically for the week ahead. Of course, as we get started, if you have a specific question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. Love to hear from you guys, where you're viewing from, what the weather has been like. Want to start off right now in some areas that are exceptionally hot, and this is a problem, especially for our friends in Jamaica, where power is still an issue after Hurricane Beryl. 4 grand came in, little came in, feels like numbers, again, about 105. So we're above 40 degrees Celsius for feels like temperatures. Then we get into Jamaica. And again, the feels like number in Kingston today hit right around 114. That is 44, even close to 45 degrees Celsius. Exceptionally hot. A lot of you in Jamaica have commented that the power's not back fully. Some of you have it, but a lot of you still don't. So our thoughts are with you guys. There's not a lot of rain on the board for the remainder of this Monday, and it's going to be an issue. And besides the fact that we don't get a lot of rain, do you notice that this area is basically devoid of cloud coverage as well? You see the relatively dry air. That's because the Saharan dust is plunked right over the Northwest Caribbean. So Jamaica and the Cayman Islands seeing some of that haze for today. It's a problem. Obviously, east we have our tropical wave. The concentration of dust is not as significant, but in the Northwest Caribbean right now, that is going to be a problem. Now, this will shift west, and for our friends in Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, there's going to be a little bit better chance for some rain starting tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that. But had to first of all just mention how hot it's been in that area, and no real relief for today. Let's go on over to Hispaniola. We're seeing a few storms develop at the hour here. I'm going to bring on our lightning data now. We're going to be getting into some active weather. You can see the lightning count live here at Meteo Mundo. Storms have fired through the peninsula and the panhandle of Haiti, Lacaille, on over towards Port-au-Prince. Again, really hot before the storms moved in. Feels like temperatures above the triple digits. Storms developing towards Santo Domingo at the hour. They're trying to slip off kind of to the east, but they're really not moving much right now, okay? The easterlies obviously will try and kick the storms back west, but more than anything, they're just developing at the hour. And again, some heavy rain and storms. Would expect it to try and stay dry towards the eastern tip of the island, but everyone else has the opportunity for a few hefty storms in the afternoon hours. Now, the axis of that tropical wave has pushed far enough west where it's been a relatively dry day for our friends in Puerto Rico. You can see that the daytime highs, and these are feels like numbers, by the way, again, have been able to push into the triple digits in a couple of spots. Now, is it the hottest day we've had? No, absolutely not. Actual air temperatures at the hour right now are mainly actually back in the upper 80s to right around 90. So not a horrible day. We do have more showers and storms coming in with our next tropical wave beginning tomorrow. It's actually been a relatively pleasant day through portions of the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands. I'm going to switch over to our visible satellite imagery here, and you can see again a little bit of cloud coverage, the opportunity for a quick passing shower in this area. Feels like numbers again hot, but not as outrageously hot as it has been, especially towards our friends in St. Thomas. For the Leeward Islands right now, Anguilla coming in with a feels like temperature right around 97, St. Bartholomew right around 100, same thing for St. Martin, Antigua and Barbuda, again 95 to 98. We've had a few showers develop in this area for today. If you've got a couple of those, let me know in the comments section below. It's been a little bit drier Montserrat north. You get down towards Guadeloupe, and now we're getting into a nice plume of moisture. And this is all going to continue to work its way off towards the west. We'll continue to see additional showers develop to the north as well. So hang in there. Antigua and Barbuda and Montserrat and St. Kitts and Nevis, more rain will be on your way, potentially later tonight, overnight, and then as we head into our Tuesday as well. Dominica had some good showers for today, especially on the northern side of the island. You notice that their temperature really dropped in accordance with that, where the southwest side of the island has stayed a little bit higher. So again, it's not like it's catching every part of the island. Martinique in with some good heavy rain in a couple of spots. St. Lucia's had a few showers for today. Barbados, again, we've got a couple of spotty showers. You can actually see this line moving in. You see that cloud coverage right there, right through St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then back towards Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago. Again, isolated showers, if anything. Notice that there's not a lot of lightning associated with this, but another axis of tropical moisture is back on the way. When I go back to our enhanced satellite imagery again, some of this moisture just dissipates before it hits Trinidad and Tobago, but there's more off towards the south and to the east. Some of that is going to be impacting places like Suriname and Guyana, and certainly Venezuela. You can see Nueva Esparta, nice heavy downpour there. They were at around 110 for feels like temperatures, 43.3 degrees Celsius before the rain moved in. So obviously the tropical wave beginning to impact the eastern side of the Caribbean. It is still very hot and dry for our friends in the ABC Islands. On over towards, we'll start in Belize, but then we'll take a look at all of Central America. So Belize, thunderstorms have been developing mainly off of the coastal areas, so inland, San Ignacio, Belmopan, Chetumal there on the southern sides of Quintana Roo and the Yucatan, towards Tulum, and Cozumel and Cancun, a few storms. But again, most of that is interior right now, but it's really lining up. This axis of moisture from this tropical wave over Central America is slamming into the area right now, and storms are getting hefty. They're getting beefy right now through portions of Honduras, and it's really been storming Nicaragua, South Nicaragua into Costa Rica all day long. Exceptional heavy rain, a lot of lightning, localized flash flooding is a possibility with all of this heavy rain and a few more storms back towards Panama. But certainly Central America and the Yucatan getting a lot of it at the hour. Additional storms developing over a lot of Cuba. We mentioned that it's kind of a localized thing for the last couple of days, but storms are very hefty there. Then we'll get back over to our friends in the Bahamas. And again, we've seen mainly a dry forecast today for places like Walker's Key, Freeport, and Lucaya there in Grand Bahama, Abaco as well. Couple of storms over Andros at the hour. You can see those mainly just off towards the west. New Providence has been dry. Same thing for Eleuthera, Cat Island on over towards Exuma there. Rum Key, the Acklands, not much going on at the hour, and a few isolated storms over the Turks and Caicos, but not in the way of any rain. Our friends in Bermuda also relatively dry, just a brief shower trying to slip its way on through. So now it's time to get into the forecast, friends, and as we do, if you're getting anything out of these videos, I'd appreciate a quick payback. It's very simple. Just hit the like button right now. You're not a subscriber to Meteo Mundo, click that subscribe button. Thank you for sharing with your family and friends, anyone you think would get something out of it, and appreciate again all the ways that you found to support us here. The memberships are open at Meteo Mundo as well. Okay, so we're going to get into the forecast for us here. And again, a couple of things I want to note. Obviously, we've talked about tropical waves. Now, there's one over Central America. There's one with kind of the axis over Hispaniola. We're seeing a third one that will begin to impact the Lesser Antilles in general, again, starting tomorrow. And there's yet another one that's sitting out here in the main development region of the Atlantic. Now, there's a couple of things that are going to go into a factor, and we'll get more into the overall tropical potential here coming up. But we have a lot of dry air situated just to the north of these tropical waves, okay? And obviously, this is part of the Saharan dust plumes we've been talking about. So these are low latitude tropical waves, not really able to lift a lot to the north. I've noticed a little bit here has become a little bit more blossomed out, right? Nothing is organized by any means. But again, we talked about in yesterday's video, we get about 60 tropical waves a year. A lot of them don't become disturbances, don't become depressions, don't become storms, but this moisture could rock the Lesser Antilles and portions of the Greater Antilles tomorrow and Wednesday with some heavy downpours, a lot of cloudy ground lightning, gusty winds, and kicking up the sea conditions as well. So this will have an impact in the area. So I wanted to highlight that. Let's swing on over and get into the model data here. So I'm going to switch over to the GFS model first, and then we'll take a look at the NAM. And again, just going to take 1 second here to load everything up. And again, if you haven't hit the like button yet, thanks for hitting the like button. Let me actually do that. I think it's going to be a little bit simpler here just to get rid of some of that data a little bit quicker. Okay, so going to take a look at the GFS. And again, more than anything, you can see that moisture generally getting into the Windward Islands. As I mentioned, with the drier air up to the north, we're not going to have as much of a latitude gain with this tropical wave. That being said, the axis is still going to allow showers and storms to develop in the Leeward Islands, okay? But a little bit more concentration farther off towards the south. Now, as I've mentioned, I don't think the GFS model has had a great handle on what's happening with these waves, so I am going to quickly switch over now to the NAM, and we'll pick it up from there. But again, the domain region, if you will, of the NAM doesn't go as far out as the GFS does. So just a little bit easier to start there and then work our way in. So I mentioned the Leeward Islands. You can see that the showers here for Anguilla and in Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, they're going to be passing by as we go through our Tuesday and Wednesday. There'll be fast moving showers. This could drop a quick inch or two of rain, 25 millimeters, 50 millimeters of rain in a hurry, isolated flash flooding throughout the island chain. So just get prepared for a more active forecast. Goodness gracious, Rusty, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Guadalupe, Dominica, Martinique. I got to have one bad Zuma video, I feel like, right? Because I'm going in and out so often. But down towards St. Lucia, and you can see St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and there's our domain cutoff of Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago, all associated with that. Nueva Esparta catching those showers. Very fast, progressive wave. So it's not going to stick in any one location very long, but you notice by the end of this, as we get towards even Wednesday and Thursday, more showers try and get back into to St. Thomas and St. Croix and St. John and the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, all with good opportunities. Fast moving showers with these waves. So not sitting in one spot very long, pretty progressive pattern. Same thing for Central America as well. Look, we're getting active weather already. We'll continue to see more develop in the southwest side of the Caribbean and then just kind of spiral into places like Nicaragua and Honduras and Guatemala and El Salvador and the Yucatan and Belize, of course, as well. So this is a relatively active forecast. Now, for my friends in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, we'll start off in Jamaica. Look, I know we need more rain. We need things to cool off, right? So here's how this is going to play out. For the remainder of this Monday, I don't expect there to be a lot of showers. Tomorrow, the chance still looks relatively limited, okay? You'll notice that when I go by island, I haven't really upped your rain chance even Wednesday and Thursday, but there's a slight bit of optimism that maybe in tomorrow's video, depending on how the models trend, I can uptick us to a slightly higher chance as we get into either late Wednesday or Thursday and Friday. But overall, some showers to cool things off, but not a lot. The access of that moisture is not as prevalent here, guys, in the Northwest Caribbean, partially because of the Saharan dust to begin with. But again, later in the period here, as we get towards the end of the week, there'll be a little bit more to play with here. Hopefully, we'll be talking about better showers there. Same thing for the Cayman Islands. Cuba stays relatively wet, but again, it's a localized variety with storms just kind of developing with the heat of the day, not really influenced by the broader perspective. We'll see the fast-moving showers across the Turks and the Caicos, southeast sides of the Bahamas as well. Generally speaking, we go a little bit farther north in the island chain. We'll have fast-moving but more isolated showers. Rain chances overall will actually be lower in general the farther north that you go. So you get towards New Providence and Andros and Eleuthera and Abaco and Grand Bahama and Bimini and Walker's Key. It's about a 20 to a 30% chance each day, but still the opportunity will be there. Our friends in the Bermuda area, which have been relatively dry, is a little interesting upper level low right here, and that's going to kind of spiral north into the area, and I do expect a few more showers in that region. When we take a look at the winds, this is going to be a big factor. We're going to have some relatively strong trade winds, the easterlies here over the next several days. So this is going to loop up. Again, you're going to see the greens here, and anywhere you actually see the greens, guys, that's winds of over 20 knots. Now, these are in gusts, I get it, but you get the idea that as these waves move through, they're going to bring some fresh winds. The ABC Islands, known to have some very strong trade winds, will absolutely see that. Easterlies here, 25 to 30 knots. We're still going to have some really strong winds across the Lesser Antilles and portions of the Greater Antilles as well. So strong winds, generally speaking, not as bad for the Northwest Bahamas, a little bit fresher breezes for the Central and the Southeast Bahamas and the Turks and the Caicos. All pretty one direction though, mainly out of the east. And again, we look back here, you can see some of that wind spiraling in, but as far as anything actually trying to wrap up here, no, not yet. Now, that being said, we still continue to monitor waves coming off the West African coast, which, of course, for this time of the year is exceptionally early, no doubt about it. So let's talk about the island by island rain chance for the Northwest Bahamas. I'm going to keep it around a 30% chance the next several days. Isolated heavy downpours obviously come along for the ride, but they're a little bit more spotty in nature. Central and Southeast Bahamas, as the next wave moves through, slightly higher rain chance on Wednesday and Thursday. That's the same scenario for the Turks and the Caicos. Again, Cuba, I could probably up this number. It's all localized, right across the island, but at least a 50% chance the next few days. Again, I've kept the Cayman Islands at the 30% chance. Hopefully by Thursday, Thursday might be able to improve that number. I'll keep an eye on it. Belize City's rain chances will go up as well. Now, again, a lot of rain in Belize interior for today, but the coastline gets a better chance starting Wednesday, Thursday. Cancun and Cosmos stay in that isolated to scattered rain. Jamaica, 30% chance for showers and storms tomorrow and Wednesday, up to a 40% chance on Friday. So better there. You're going to notice places like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. British Virgin Islands will peak on Wednesday. That is that next surge of that tropical moisture with the wave. Again, it's not a disturbance. We're not talking about a wrap-up system, but we are talking about an elongated area of some heavier rain. Your best opportunities will be on Wednesday, then drier after that. Bermuda will see increasing rain chances through the week. Anguilla, 60% chance for tomorrow, fades a little bit Wednesday and Thursday. Keep an eye for the next tropical axis coming in over the weekend. St. Kitts and Nevis, it's a healthy 60% chance for tomorrow. Again, heavy downpours, 1 to 2 inches of rain possible in these areas. Same thing for Antigua and Barbuda as well. Still a 50% chance on Thursday. Montserrat, look, St. Martin, Saba, St. Eustatius, all included in that forecast. Guadeloupe, 50% chance for showers the next few days. Decent downpours today there in Dominica as well. That should continue for our Tuesday. Slightly less starting on Wednesday. Martinique in that same boat. St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Again, 50% chance each day. Barbados, just a little bit drier overall, I believe, but still some passing downpours. Grenada, a 50% chance for tomorrow. Kind of flattens out Trinidad and Tobago. Not a ton of rain there, but scattered showers, absolutely. Suriname and Guyana stay with a healthy rain chance the next few days. Nueva Esparta, fast passing downpours. And again, I feel like I say it every time, but we hope to get some rain for the ABC Islands. It hasn't been much. Let us know there if you've caught any of those showers. I mentioned the easterlies. Again, it's a factor. You can see that they just stay with us. Now, the surf and sea conditions will be highest as these waves move through. So they are going to be maximized in a couple of different spots. You can see on Tuesday for tomorrow, those greens enter the picture through the Lesser Antilles. That could be some decent wave heights there. So I'll keep an eye out for any surf and sea advisories. And we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video as we get towards next week. Some of that in the Western Atlantic could be impacting portions of the Bahamas as well. Okay, so now let's get back into kind of the broader perspective when it comes to what's going to be happening tropically, all right? Development right now looks to be relatively tame. Give me just 1 second here, guys. Switching over to the different model. Going back over to the GFS, we're going to continue to look at the absolute vorticity. It's the spin in the atmosphere. And again, it's just kind of a great indicator of where we should be looking for potential cyclonic development, all right? These waves inherently have a little bit of spin. They're more elongated north to south, but we can watch those here with this vorticity product continue to work their way through. So this is a nice little product to keep an eye out for us here. And you can see that as the waves come off the West African coast, they inherently have a little bit of spin. And we can follow those. The next one that I'm going to be really monitoring, by the way, if we slow this down, is going to be the one late this week and into the weekend. This one might be a little bit stronger in nature. You can see that it does flatten out though, which is great news. Also notice just a little bit off towards the south, there's a little bit more spin trying to sneak its way into South America. These are the little things that I watch out for. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be a tropical disturbance in any way, but could it enhance the rainfall in these areas as there's more lift in the atmosphere? Absolutely, okay? And again, you can see this very interesting feature up towards Bermuda. Watch that spin. See that nice little flare up right there? That's why we're going to get some of that heavier rain. These are the things that I keep a very close eye on. Notice that this is relatively quiet. When I put this into motion, again, there's not a lot to it there, and you see how this is almost devoid. Here's the reason why. On the European model, nice high pressure has built in over the central Atlantic, okay? Now, does that completely suppress tropical potential? No, but it's going to do a couple of things. Obviously, in that area, there's going to be no chance for any development whatsoever, and it's going to certainly act like steering currents, okay? These tropical waves aren't going to be able to lift north in latitude much, butting up into this huge area of high pressure, and then, of course, with an area of high pressure, you have clockwise winds. Now, still in this area, you should generally have very little wind shear. It's the same kind of environment that Beryl tried to form in, but this is a much stronger high overall as well, okay? So generally speaking, when we combine this area of high pressure and Saharan dust any of the tropical waves coming off the West African coast the next several days are going to have a lot of struggle trying to develop there, no doubt about it. Friends, before we get going here, I actually want to take a look at the rain. This is the next and last thing I want to look at here real quick. So I'm going to back up to that because I want to talk about the rainfall potential in your area. So let's switch over to that. This is again going to be over the next 5 days. And anywhere that you see the purples into the pinks into the whites, those are a little bit more prominent rainfall totals. So let's take a look at those here real quickly. And again, just over the next 5 days, you can see what I'm talking about. The opportunity here for Guadeloupe and Dominica and Martinique, over 50 millimeters rain in a couple of spots, maybe getting close to 75. It's 2 to 3 inches of rain. Barbados could still catch some isolated heavier downpours. That will always be a possibility. Trinidad, Tobago, Grenada, all in that same thing. It gets even higher, of course, as we've mentioned, over South America, portions of like Guyana and Suriname and Venezuela. You can see that 4, 5, maybe even 6 inches of rain, 75 up to 150 millimeters in a couple of spots. Maybe a little bit lower amounts here, Antigua, Barbuda, but still potentially getting towards an inch of rain. But obviously the model favors the southern latitude track of that tropical moisture. Still going to try and slam up some decent rain on the eastern sides of Puerto Rico, places like Culebra and Vieques there, St. Croix. We'll swing on over to our friends in the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And again, a little bit more spotty, but still fast passing showers. We're going to get some rain here. Turks and Caicos, not as much, right? Cuba, more localized, but still some possible heavier downpours. As I said, for my friends in Jamaica, let's try and get more than an inch of rain in a couple of spots. That would be nice. But again, we're talking about for the next 5 days in total. Overall, that's not a ton of rain. Cayman Islands don't expect a lot. We've mentioned all the rainfall in portions of Central America. By the way, look at what happens here in the Eastern Pacific. That's a ton of rain. But places like Panama and Costa Rica and Nicaragua, all in store for some heftier downpours. This is just your wetter area here, guys. Honduras. I mentioned coastal Belize, right, towards Belize City. Now, coastal areas have a little bit better chance for higher rain compared to inland locations. And that will be true even up towards Cancun and Cozumel, though the rain totals there shouldn't be as significant. And as I mentioned, the northwest Bahamas, a couple of downpours, absolutely. Overall, relatively dry. Okay, now it's time to talk about a social media profile, friends. We're on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. You got a picture or video you want to send me, and I appreciate all of those recently. It's mymetiomundo@gmail.com. Again, as we head out the door, thanks for liking and subscribing. You have a specific question about the forecast, all you got to do is drop it in the comments section below. Okay, friends, have a great rest of your Monday. Get ready for some heavy rain and storms in some areas, and for others, the heat will continue. I'll have the latest for you tomorrow when I see you then, right here at Meteo Mundo.